Hello and welcome back to the Pigeon Tarot Podcast. Unfortunately, I had a little issue last week where my audio got messed up on the first recording that I did for my podcast, so I did have to redo it, and then I lost 7 minutes from it somehow. I have no idea, but at least you can listen and it's complete. Okay, let's try to avoid that this time. So testing. Looks like the microphone's on. Yes. Okay. I have had a lot of questions recently involving job interviews specifically, and that is where I kind of wanted to try to focus, but I didn't find enough questions this go round to go the direction that I wanted with it. But I think we'll still kind of focus on job related questions this time, and maybe we'll save the interview questions for a later date. Still, I think we've got some good ones here. We are centering questions around how we fit into our workplace, or about belonging in our workplace, or maybe if we need to change up where we are currently working. Is it worth the stress and anxiety to stick around in a dead-end job, or is it worth it to put yourself into a new and unknown position and create more stress and anxiety in a different way? I think we try a lot to find like the perfect fit for our like ideal workplace, but sometimes you just have to deal with a less than ideal situation because honestly, you need a job, you need a paycheck. But let's see what kind of stressors we will run into on this episode today. I have recently had my own job change, and while I miss some things about my old job, I do feel like mentally I'm in a much better place, even if the hours that I receive in the pay are not as ideal. But what is more important to you? And what is it that you are striving for when it comes to your career? Is your focus on money? Is it on freedom? Or is it just to pay the bills? Let's go ahead and pull a card for the energy of our podcast today. Shuffle twice as per usual. All right. The card we have is the Six of Swords, the card of transition. The Six of Swords, it is about movement and growth and moving from one place that we were in previously to another place. Finding your place, leaving behind what does not suit you any longer. And while a lot of our questions are going to center around today, should I leave my current place? This card would be a yes. If you know that the position that you're in isn't less than ideal, it doesn't hurt to kind of look around and see what else is out there and maybe even make that jump. There are more opportunities out there, so why hold on to what is not working for you, right? Maybe you'll find the greener grass, so to speak, that you are looking for. But you won't know if you never try and you never make the moves. It took me a long time to finally gain the courage to put myself out there and make that job change. All right, so the first question we have is from Archie. Archie has just left their position of 10 years and is starting in a new place. They feel very disconnected from everyone at their new job, and they're starting to feel very, very homesick for their old job. It is leading to a lot of stress and anxiety for Archie, and they're just wondering if this is normal. How long is it going to take, or what can they do to help themselves integrate into this new situation? The Ten of Swords reversed, the Five of Swords reversed, the Emperor reversed. Oh, excuse me. Let's go ahead and pull just one more card. I feel like we need another card as a clarifier here. The Hanged Man. All right. So that Ten of Swords and reverse can be about acceptance of that situation that you are in. It may be a difficult period right now, but just wait it out. Don't be so quick to change or second guess your choice. The Five of Swords reversed, we can see ourselves as more of the victim in the situation, but I think Archie just kind of needs to dig in and make this job their own, make this place their work environment, feel more comfortable, more at home. They may have a lot more control or influence than they realize. And while they're not striving to be on top, they can at least, still make something of that situation that they are in, right? The Emperor reverse is a card where we feel very weak, and I think Archie is kind of feeling like they got, they're in a difficult position. They kind of made the wrong choice, and they think they've messed up in a sense by taking this job that they don't feel very good or motivated in. But the Hanged Man, that just hang in there card. It makes me think of those little motivational cat posters that are so like stereotypical of the workplace. Hanging on that branch, just hang in there. Give this some time. Be open and see how your perspective may change about this job. Don't be so quick to feel like you've made a bad choice. It is normal to feel sadness with any transition that you go through in life. And I think Archie will find their place at this job. They will find the place where they fit in. And so, yes, like I said, it's okay to go through any kind of transition period when you go through big change where things don't feel like as perfect as they may have seemed in the past, and we can tend to look on the past and often glorify it more than what it actually was, right? So don't be so quick to regret the decision you've made. Eventually, you can make it feel like home and start to bring any new start. Yes, any new start will bring about some insecurity and some uncertainty. You just need some time. That's all Archie needs. I feel like I'm still kind of in that transition period where every once in a while I think, oh my gosh, should I have left that old job? But it's okay. I know it's okay. Our next question. Monk is starting to feel the burnout that comes from working in what seems to them a dead-end job. Monk could invest their energy into other opportunities within the company, but they feel like it's just not worth the effort for what little they will receive from doing so. They're wondering if they should just risk it all and pursue something completely different, or stick it out and hope that their feelings will eventually change. We have the Hierophant, the High Priestess in reverse, the Chariot. I want one more card here. One more card after that Chariot. I don't like ending on the Chariot because it's so open. I don't know. The Page of Pentacles. Okay. I think it is time. It is time here for Monk to make some moves. Right there we have the Chariot. Yes. We can't just stop here. While the Hierophant tends to stick to a routine, the High Priestess is the one who kind of suppresses themselves and keeps them stuck in a place that they don't feel like they can really grow or move, right? So maybe that sticking to that routine is really suppressing their abilities, what they're capable of, or their chance for other opportunities. Monk isn't going to find what they need from their current job. So I do think Monk needs the Chariot, needs the movement, needs to follow some of their own desires or dreams. I think they feel that this is not the place for them. And then we have that Page of Cups, which is going towards new opportunities, finding those new opportunities, seeing what is out there to be offered to them. That is the move that Monk needs to make. See what else is out there, because satisfaction most likely will not come from being stuck where Monk is at. And, sometimes we know we aren't in the best place for us. If you are someone who wants to continue to be the best and improve yourself, then sticking with a job with little growth is not the most mentally stimulating or satisfying position to be in. So yes, sometimes change is a good thing, and I think that is what we need in this situation. Next, we have Gertie. Gertie was recently laid off from a well-paying job and has since struggled to find a similar position in the same industry. Gertie feels the only option is to start looking at more menial, hourly, low-paying jobs. Gertie is in a place where that lesser pay won't be such a big issue, but mentally it leaves them feeling very disappointed in themselves. They want to know if accepting a lesser job means that they have failed. Let me tell you, sometimes them lesser jobs, because that's kind of like, what is that? The blue collar, white collar worker, you know? Those lesser jobs that are needed to continue society, basically, are very important and very difficult to do for a lot of people. So it can be even more demanding, right? Anyways, I feel like Gertie would see my job as a lesser job, but that's besides the point. It doesn't mean you failed. Because you chose a different path, a different job, that job is valuable either way. All right, let me quit that rant. The Five of Wands, the Nine of Cups reverse, the Seven of Wands reverse. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. First impressions here is that even if Gertie does choose this lesser job, they will not be happy where they are. That Five of Wands is a card that keeps us moving, pushing our limits. You know, that's the card of competition. We need to continue to better ourselves, continue to grow. So this isn't going to be the most satisfying place. I think even if Gertie gets stuck in a job that maybe leaves them wanting, they will make the most of their situation. I think they will continue to push themselves to improvement. So if they have to, for a short term, choose one of these smaller jobs that they don't want to take, then I think they'll quickly move themselves out of that position. It's not like they're going to be stuck there forever. Nine of Cups is where Gertie may feel uncomfortable. The Nine of Cups reverse, that they can't really help but carry those feelings of failure with them, and they're not going to be happy in the environment that they're in, not until they find that job that satisfies them. So we're going to continue to expect dissatisfaction and disappointment. And ending with that Seven of Wands reverse, I think if Gertie doesn't try something different, doesn't try anything that'll get them out of their current state, that they're going to end up being stuck. So while it may not be an ideal situation and they may not enjoy their time in what they consider a lesser job, it is better than having nothing at all, because Gertie still needs that involvement. They still need that reason to continue to push themselves. So they got to take what they can get so they can continue on their path. It may not be the most ideal move, choosing a position that may feel like a demotion. But even if you have to start over, or if you have thrown yourself into something new, if you have the spirit, you will quickly move yourself to something better. So don't miss out on opportunities that may be less than ideal, because there still may be something you can gain from it. Learning new skills or even improving your own outlook. Don't be too stubborn to accept less than what you think you deserve, rather than receive nothing at all. Oh my gosh, pin that somewhere. I gotta remember that. All right, our next one is, I think the name I was choosing was Imagery. Imagery, interesting. Is preparing themselves for their first job interview. They are more scared than anything about messing up or ending in a job that they will regret in a few years. And they just need some advice in preparing themselves for this interview and whatever their future may hold for them in this career. Another little note there, just because you think that this job you may regret taking. Why would you regret it? It's all about how your perspective, right? If you look at this as your way of growing and adding to that resume, then no reason not to take it. I guess we do CVs now, not resumes. Anyways, besides the point, we got the Magician. We have the Knight of Cups. And the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands. Okay, wow. That's some good energy, I feel, coming imagery's way. With that Magician, imagery needs to bring their best for the job that they want. What is it that you bring to the table? What is your skills? What is the best of you, your strengths, and your plans for how you can succeed here? You have all the tools that you need, right? That's the Magician. The Knight of Cups is that charmer who has no problem engaging with people, bringing that charm, smile, making contact, swooning your interviewers. They're gonna like it. They're gonna like what they see. It's all about how you present yourself, presenting the best side of yourself, or at least, making yourself look good, even if you don't feel great about yourself. How you present yourself on the outside will be, I think, very important with these cards here. Walk in with confidence, a smile, a handshake, and present yourself the best way that you can. Hello. The Knight of Cups can wow anyone with their outward armor, right? They're one of the knights that has the big shiny armor. And then finally we have the Four of Wands. So bringing up those important milestones that you have reached, even if it doesn't seem like much, how can you summarize your best qualities and present them in a way that shows all your achievements, that shows the best of yourself? If you've even never worked a job before, think of like maybe group projects in school where you worked with others and you were able to show, qualities that are important to this job, problem solving, working with others, stepping up, being a leader sometimes, or being the support. Maybe even hobbies that you invest your time into to show that you have, commitment and that you have this enthusiasm. Most of all, don't be scared of what this new job can bring you. There is nothing of regret in this spread. These are great cards, and I think we will find good success here. Interviews are tough, and if you aren't used to them, it's okay. I always say go into an interview with an open mind, be open to the experience, and if it doesn't work well this time, you at least know what to expect next time, know what kind of questions to focus on. It's a learning experience. We can't expect you to excel at your very first interview without having any other ideas of what an interview is like. And then show your value and the mark that you want to make on the company or in your future. That Magician is someone who's going to create great things. They just need the opportunity to do so. I have no, imagery is going to be successful. We can see it. All right. Our next one. Wally. Wally has a job that they really enjoy and pays them well enough. The hours are great, but they have one problem. Wally has been having issues with their boss, who doesn't seem to really care or put a lot of effort into their own job. It leaves Wally picking up a lot of slack, and now this perfect for them job is less than ideal with all the extra work that they're having to do. Wally sees that other jobs won't quite give them the schedule or the pay that they have become used to, but they don't know how long they can continue in the situation. Wally wants to know if they should stay here and work through the frustration or find a place with better management for their own mental health. Sometimes that's the choice you have to make, is focusing on your own mental health. Sometimes the job is not worth the stress. All right. We have the Ace of Cups reversed, the King of Cups, the Lovers. Let's get one more card here. Lovers reversed, which I don't immediate like that. Two of Wands for card number 4. Alright, you know, I've pulled a few extra cards in some of these spreads, and I tend to lean more towards 4 cards in my own readings, but I thought 3 cards would work better for this format. But sometimes I don't feel like the message is quite complete when we end with a certain card. So that's why I pull an extra sometimes. Alright, so let's get to the reading. With the Ace of Cups reverse, this situation is going to continue to be emotionally draining. That's my card of draining. We're just pouring that water out. It isn't a good position for them to stay in any longer or long term. We have the King of Cups, and that's someone who's going to stand up and do what is best. Sometimes we don't always agree with the choices the King of Cups makes, but they are here to protect us. Difficult decisions. And the king has to know when they need to protect, right, their self or Wally. So Wally, yeah, needs to protect themselves. The Lovers reverse shows that this is going to continue to be a situation that isn't suitable. Wally isn't going to find the peace that they need, and sometimes it's better to remove yourself from a place that is just incompatible with your life. And as much as this job is perfect, there's even more that is, well, I mean, it's hard to find something that is perfect. But there's other things out there that can suit just fine. The Two of Wands shows that there is more out there, right? Start making some plans to see what else you can find. Maybe open up to other experiences that seem less than ideal, you know. This situation that Wally is in will continue to drain them more than anything. So I think they need to be open to the change and open to going a different direction. It is tough to leave a place that you have grown used to, even when it is terrible. It still becomes comfortable, and you learn to live with that environment. But realize that things can be so much better if you're willing to make some changes and just see what else there is for you to pursue. Like, imagine being happy at your job. It's not impossible, but think about what your priorities are. Is it just about making money, or is it about making a better life for yourself? Bringing happiness, which a lot of, I feel like, grown-ups do put aside that happiness to make money. And that's, you know, where we get that old saying, money doesn't buy happiness, right? It does. It can. But it can bring a lot of stress as well. I think that is it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for listening, and hopefully whatever decisions you are making for your career, that you go forth with confidence in yourself and the direction that you're heading. My last live stream, we were very much focused on having confidence. You know, you are of value, and I've said that before here. Don't forget also to check out our other socials. You know, check out our dailies on Instagram and Tumblr. Join us on our live streams on Twitch, or browse through those other YouTube videos. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much.